What you can expect to find in this book is a real invitation to joy for believers. I think for too long, people have thought that religion needs to be gloomy and somber, but real faith leads to real joy. The book also shows how the saints and great spiritual masters use humor and how laughter is a real gift from God. I talk a lot about St. Francis and his joyfulness. I talk a lot about the other saints. For example, St. Philip Neri, the Italian saint, who used to go around Rome with half of his beard shaved off to get people to poke fun at him. I talk about Pope John the 23rd, who had a great sense of humor. So Catholic joy and Christian joy goes through all the religious orders and really all the saints. St. Teresa of Avila, the 16th century Carmelite reformer, is usually seen as very somber. You see pictures of her as somber or very ethereal. But she was a very earthy, grounded woman who once said, "I am more afraid of one unhappy sister than a crowd of evil spirits. A sad nun is a bad nun." So she shows us that being saintly frequently means being humorous and smiling. Humor sometimes keeps us grounded. The saints used humor in this way as a tool for humility. They would make jokes about themselves. Pope John the 23rd, St. Philip Neri, they would always make fun of themselves. And I think it reminded them and reminds us of our common poverty of spirit. We're all like everybody else. We're all human beings. We all make mistakes. And I think laughing at ourselves reminds us of that essential truth. I think that people have a somewhat misunderstood idea of who Jesus was. The gospel writers had to focus a lot on the passion and death of Christ because they had to explain that for their readers. Why would Jesus have had to die? But the problem is, because the gospel spends so much time on the sad parts of Jesus' life, the joyful parts really don't get as much play. Most of Jesus' life was joyful. I mean, he's doing joyful things. He's spending time with friends. He's healing the sick. He's raising people from the dead. He's going to wedding parties. And yet we tend to think of him too much as the man of sorrows instead of the man of joys. I think we have to look at both. And what I'm trying to do is just balance things out just a little bit. The contest for the funniest story or the most joyful story in the Bible is a hotly contested one. You could talk about the book of Jonah, Jonah and the whale, which is funny from start to finish. But for my money, the most joyful story and the funniest one is the story of the birth of Isaac. In Genesis right here, Abraham is told at age 100 and his wife Sarah is 99 that his wife is going to have a baby, and Abraham, quote, falls on his face laughing. When Sarah overhears it, she laughs, and God says, "Why did you laugh?" And she said, "I didn't laugh." And God says, "Yes, you did laugh." And when they have the baby, they name him Isaac, in Hebrew Yitzhak, which means he laughs. And in that wonderful line, Sarah says, "God has given me cause to laugh. All who hear of it will laugh with me." So there's a story at the beginning of Judaism and Christianity that starts with a laugh.